Hi, everybody. Mr. Wyatt here. And today we're going to talk about how to find the volume of a cylinder. In our last lesson, we were talking about surface area of a cylinder, which is the total area of the outside surface of the cylinder. Or you could think of it as being like the total amount of tin used to make this can, assuming the top is still on it too. Okay, but with volume, we're not looking at the outer surface of this cylinder. Instead, we're looking at the space inside the cylinder here. What is the amount of space inside this cylinder? How much can it hold? If you put something in the can, it could be filled with water, it could be filled with pudding, which I think would be the most fun if this were filled with pudding. I would do everything in my power to empty it of pudding. Um, and you could fill it with sand. You could fill it with anything, really. Excuse me there. I had um, something in my throat. Hey, that makes me think of a joke. Um, why did the pony decide not to sing at the concert? Because he was a little hoarse. Oh, I better move on. I'm sorry about that. That was terrible. All right, so volume is another word for volume is capacity, how much something can hold. Okay, so how much could this hold? Whatever you put inside of this can, how much could it hold? All right, so we do have a formula for finding volume of a cylinder, and I think you're going to like the formula. It's a nice one. All right, so anyway, take a look here at this prism. If I want to find the volume of this figure, it's a rectangular prism. We have a formula that's on the sixth grade formula sheet that says that the volume of any prism is equal to the area of the base times the height. Now, some of you might be thinking, wait, it's a rectangular prism. Don't we just do length times width times height? Yes, but see, length times width, here's your length, here's your width. Length times width is just giving you the area of the base. You're just finding the area of this one face here, the base, length times width. And then you take that times the height over here. So volume of any prism is just big B times H, big B being the area of the base. We could actually use this same formula when finding the volume of a cylinder. Here, I'll show you. Because here's your formula for finding volume of a cylinder. We have volume of a prism is big B times H, area of the base times the height. Well, with the cylinder, we could find the area of the base and take that times the height of the cylinder as well. The base is a circle. How do you find the area of a circle? Pi r squared. So look at your formula for the volume of a cylinder. It's just pi r squared, which is big B, the area of the base, times h, the height of the cylinder. Isn't that a nice short formula? Volume of a cylinder, pi r squared, times h, area of the base, times the height. So let's look at an example here. Find the volume of this figure. Round your answer to the nearest whole number. You know what that means? That means if I get a decimal value, I'm just going to round it to the nearest whole number and not even look at the decimals anymore. Okay, so anyway, volume. I'm going to write the formula down. Mr. Wyatt, the formula's already shown up here. Yeah, it is, but I'm going to rewrite it anyway. It makes it, there's a better chance I'll memorize the formula then. Although you probably could recreate the formula by remembering we're just finding the area of the base, pi r squared, times the height. Okay, by the way, this 9, let me finish writing the formula. Volume equals pi r squared times h. First of all, the height is 9 meters, isn't it? I know what you're thinking. Wait, I thought height went up, down. Well, sometimes. But see how this cylinder is laying on its side here? The height is the distance between these bases. The bases are the circles. So the height is 9 meters. What is the radius of this base here? Or this one, which is identical to it? I have a 6-meter measurement here, but it goes all the way across this circle. So this is your diameter right here. We want to use the radius. Since the diameter is 6 meters, the radius would be half of that. And half of 6 is 3 meters. So in place of r, the radius, we will put the number 3. So our volume here equals pi 3.14 times the radius, 3 squared, times h, the height of the cylinder, which is 9 meters. It's the distance between the bases is your height. Okay, and then I'll just grab my calculator. If you have a scientific calculator, you can enter it just as it appears here, 3.14 times 3 squared times 9. I'm using just a regular calculator, so I'm going to take 3.14 times 81, and I get 254.34. Now you may be thinking, Mr. Wyatt, why did you multiply by 81? I don't see an 81 in this problem. I actually can multiply any order I wish. So I actually started here with 3 squared, which is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. And then took 9 times 9, which is 81. So I really just have 3.14 times 81. It was just a shortcut, so I wouldn't have to push as many buttons on my calculator. And it does equal 254.34. No worries if you want to just go 3.14 times 3 squared times 9. You can do that. If you're using a regular calculator, find 3 squared, 9, take it times 9. You can use your calculator, and then take that times 3.14. You'll get the same result. So 254.34. It says to round to the nearest whole number, though. So we're just going to round this. 3/10, 5 or more, we'd let it soar, but this is less than 5. So we're just going to go with 254 when we round this to the nearest whole number. And volume is cubic units. So I'll put meters cubed like this for my label. Okay? Maybe I should use that squiggly equal sign because it's about that. I could use that squiggly equal sign up here too, because remember we did approximate pi when we used 3.14. But yes, 254 cubic meters is our answer. Let's try another one. Find the volume of this figure, round your answer again to the nearest whole number. Step 1, write the formula down. V equals pi r squared times h. By the way, on a quiz, I would always provide you with these formulas. You don't have to memorize them, okay? They'd be built right into the quiz and the instructions. All right, here's my formula. Let's fill in what we know. Pi 3.14 times the radius squared. Do I know the radius? Hey, look here. It's given. See, the radius connects the center of the circle to the outside of the circle. It's 4. So 3.14 times 4 squared times the height of this cylinder, which is 18 centimeters. Okay, now you want to be careful not to cut the 4 in half. Okay, we don't cut it in half because this already is the radius. Okay, so we just use that right there, that 4, that is your radius. And now we'll go ahead and solve this. 4 squared, you might know that's 16, right? 4 times 4 equals 16. So you could do 3.14 times 16 times 18. I think that's what I'll do. 3.14 times 16 times 18. And that equals 904.32. 904.32. Again, the directions say to round the nearest whole number. In the 10th place, I have a 3. If it were 5 or more, I'd let it soar, but it's not. It's less than 5. So we're just going to round it to 904. Volume, again, is cubic units. So I have cubic centimeters. Okay, so that's all there is to it for finding volume. Isn't that nice? It's a lot easier than finding surface area. All right. By the way, don't forget how to find surface area. In fact, maybe we'll just look at one more quick question. And on this one, I want to find the surface area and I want to find the volume. Let's do the tough part first. And look, we have these decimal values. Yuck! Aren't you glad we get to use calculators? So our first step, write down our formula. Surface area equals 2 pi r squared plus pi dh. We learned about that in our last lesson. So let's fill in what we know. You know what? I'm going to write down what r equals, the radius, and what d equals, the diameter. I'm given the diameter. See how this in the drawing goes all the way across the circle? So 6.8 is the diameter. The radius would be half of that, or 3.4. Now I can just start substituting in some numbers. 2 times pi, 3.14, times the radius squared. The radius here is 3.4 squared. Plus, and then over here I have pi, 3.14, times d, the diameter, which is 6.8, times h, the height, which is 10.3. Surface area takes a lot more time than volume, doesn't it, to find it? It's not difficult. We just have to be careful now when we enter all of our numbers into our calculators. So I'll start on the left here, 3.4 squared, 3.4 squared. And then I'll take that times 3.14 and then times 2. And I get 72.5968. Plus, and then on the right, I have 3.14 times 6.8 times 10.3. That equals 219.9256. Then I just add those together. I say just, but they are a lot of digits. So I add these together and I get 292.5224. The directions say round to the nearest whole number. The tens place has a 5, so that means we got to round up to 293. So my surface area is about 293 square meters. Whew, that was kind of a lot of work. Now let's find the volume. So for the volume, I'll write my formula down. Volume equals area of the base, pi r squared, times the height, h, of the cylinder. So I have 3.14 times the radius, 3.4, squared, times the height, which is 10.3. And this is a lot less work than the surface area was. So I have 3.14 times, oops, I should have found 3.4 squared first. No big deal. I just took times 3.4 twice. And then times 10.3. And I get 373.87352. Again, I'll round this to the nearest whole number. The tens place has an 8 in it, so I'm going to let her soar, and 373 will go up to 374. Volume is cubic units, so instead of square meters, I have cubic meters here. There you go. I just found the volume and the surface area of this cylinder. All right, good luck on your assignment today, and you guys take care.